Book 21 begins when Yvonne and Dewi approach Dolerw Park through the main car park at Newtown town centre. They arrive in the car park to see complete chaos, ambulances, police, people being rushed away. There's a good view of a local bench because it's artistic. And we're walking here along the path. The River Severn, the longest river in Britain, is to our right hand side, and you can see the river is very swollen at the moment. We've had some very heavy rain, and so the river is fast moving and full. And some canoeists were there at the same time as I filmed this. Some canoeists were there taking good advantage of the wild river. So if you remember in book 5, The Pusher in the Giles Series, the River Severn is where I set much of that book, because obviously the murders were drownings. So this is also the river in that book. And there's another view of the car park, because you can't have too many views of a car park. You can't. What was I thinking? So any minute now, I'm going to continue along the path, I hope, towards the bridge. And Yvonne and Dewi walk over this bridge into the lower field in Dolerw, which is where I set the Eisteddfod in my story. The building that you see as I pan round to the right, the building there in front of you is Hafod or Avon, which is a wonderful cafe restaurant that I had a cream tea in after making this movie. And I'm being artistic again, so there's some bricks and some grass, because it's very good to have bricks and grass in your movie when you're making a film. I could cut these bits out, but it's all part of the fun. So here I'm walking along the pathway to the left of the river, approaching the main bridge at Dolerw to cross the river into the lower field. It's absolutely beautiful day. The sun was shining. It's a really, really lovely day for making this recording. A little bit of wind, but I didn't mind that. It wasn't cold. And the colours in the trees, as you'll see as I move into Dolerw main field, absolutely stunning. Really stunning. I cut this in because I wanted to show you the board. This is part of the Severn Way. This part of the river is part of the Severn Way. So you can actually cycle or walk from Newtown to Welshpool along the river. And here I'm just about to go onto the bridge to go over the river. So Yvonne and Dewi approached the lower field over this bridge. So it's here that they, realised the size, the scale of what was happening. With people being rushed away on stretchers. They were in the main car park, and they're coming across this bridge from the lower field. Somebody put me in prison because this movie was so terrible. And there's another look at that swollen river. As you can see, it's very fast moving. It's not. This you can see how rapid this river is. You wouldn't want to fall. You wouldn't want to fall in there. Those are actually the rapids on the river, and I've seen the ducks enjoying themselves on those rapids many a time. think I said earlier, this is the longest river in Britain. The Thames is the widest and the River Severn is the longest, and it's very beautiful. At one time they were thinking of naming Newtown on Severn, but in the end they decided against it, and they stuck simply with Newtown. So another view of the river, and then I think we'll move on into the park. Stunning. I used to be scared when I was young walking over this bridge, because as you get towards the centre it really wobbles, but it's perfectly safe, I'm told. And you can see here, you can see the wind, you can see just how windy it was at times today, but still absolutely stunning. And you're looking down from the bridge into the lower field. You have a beautiful mix of deciduous trees there. That are just so colourful at the moment, losing their leaves rapidly. And I'm back in prison again because, you know, the spooky is that bad. And here we go, back over the bit. I'm sure we've done this before. I think we've done this before. I might find a way of cutting this bit out, because there's only so much river and bars a person can suffer. Though that is a beautiful river. And as you come towards the end of the bridge, there are these stone steps down on either side that you can take down as an alternative if you wish to continue walking along the riverbank. But I'm continuing on along the path after filming the stone steps. And here I am being artistic again. So here we are coming down off the bridge into the lower field, where in the book you have the marquees for the Eisteddfod, the main marquee being on the ground to your left. The full title of the Eisteddfod is the Eisteddfod of Cymru, which means the National Eisteddfod of Wales. And as you can see, it's such a lovely day. It's nice to see them planting trees as well. They've been planting more trees in the park, so there's a few saplings being projected here and there. So the main marquee was on that field in front of you that I've just panned around the field. I'll be walking through there in a moment. Good view of a post. You can hear seagulls in the sky. those have come inland from places like Aberystwyth, Aberdyfi. They're 45 miles away on the coast, and the seagulls often come in for an easy meal in the town. We often hear them in the skies. And I can really begin to appreciate the beauty of the park, the colours in the trees, and the grass looking very lovely there. Grass and leaves, and more grass and more leaves. So there we have the main field. Lots of families come here to picnic in the summer. People have barbecues on Dolerw, and people wander along for romantic walks by the river, or walk their dogs by the river. I used to sit on the riverbank and draw the trees leaning down to the water. I used to spend many hours drawing on the banks of the river doing that. Now in a minute I'm going to be walking along the pathway that you see there, and you'll see the stones for the gorsedd from the last time the Eisteddfod was actually in Newtown. So I wrote this book and set the Eisteddfod in the town, knowing it hadn't been to the town for many years. In fact, I don't believe it's been to the town since 1983, if I remember rightly. And the ring of stones that you'll see in a moment actually were placed there to commemorate the fact that the Eisteddfod had been to the town in the 80s. Now talk about truth mirroring fiction. After I had written the book, and in actual fact it was last week, it was a few days before release of the book, I had an email from Christopher's school to say, my son's school, to say the Eisteddfod was going to be in Newtown next year. I nearly fell off my seat. So there I was, setting the Eisteddfod in Newtown, and knowing that the Eisteddfod hadn't been for many years, I thought, I was perfectly safe, perfectly fictional, and I hear that the Eisteddfod is coming to the town next year. So let's hope that truth doesn't completely mirror fiction. That really would be too scary. So in the distance there, you can see the stones, the gorsedd stones that were placed there after the last time the Eisteddfod was in Newtown. The only time the Eisteddfod was in Newtown, as far as I'm aware. Just a sweeping view, last view of the park. One more of the gorsedd stones that you can see in the distance there. And then to the cafe, where I had a lovely cream tea and a hot cup of tea to finish, because everything should end with a nice cuppa. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if this was a little bit rambling and boring in places. I'm hoping to do a shorter, more punchy one for some buildings that are also in the book. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much.